Okay. So the time complexity thing we are seeing. Yeah. First way of searching for a person, Ravi, in a WhatsApp group is to clicking on search box and type your name, Ravi. You will get the details. And second way is to scroll in the participants. Basically, in the group members, you need to scroll. So these are my group numbers. When I open WhatsApp, I will able to scroll or not. So that is the second way. I will scroll down and I will find Ravi M. This is the second way. Two ways. I hope this particular part is clear, everyone. Right? So what is best or fast way? What is best or fast way? What is the best way, guys? What is the best way? From the above two options, what is the best way?
I think first way, first option,
Option one.
option first.
Option one. Option one is the first answer, right? Because it will both will give me what is the output of both the things. I will get my name in the group. I will find out my name in the group. But both are doing we are doing both operations in a different way. One is to click on search box and type your name, and second thing is to scroll. Right? Both will give me my name, but first one is the best option. First one is the best option. Basically, the best in the sense fastest option I will get. Fastest option I will get. So now even when you take this, so this is a very basic example that I have taken from the real world. So this is the same process also applicable to a DSA question. Even for a DSA question, even for a DSA question, the above thing applicable same as it is. So for one DSA question, we will have only one answer. We will have only one answer, guys. We will only have one answer every time for any problem, any question that is given. Do we have only one answer? Yes or no? Only one answer or multiple answers? How many answers we will have for a given question? DSA question algorithm. So we will not have just one answer. We will be having multiple, multiple. Instead of saying answers, we can say multiple approaches. Multiple approaches for a single question. For a single question, let's assume the question is given as a uh, find maximum number. Find maximum number from array. Okay. For this question, I will not only have one approach. I will not only have one approach. I will have a multiple approaches. I will have multiple approaches. Right. In that multiple approaches, what I need to select always? What we need to select always? What we need to select always? What we
Fastest.
need to select is basically the fastest solution. In simple terms, fastest solution we will take. Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? Right. This is how. Even if you take this particular example in your real world daily life also. If you are traveling from your workplace or you are from your college to your home, you will open Google Maps and you will search. You will put in your destination and also your source starting point. So Google Maps will give you multiple options, two, three options. From those options, what you will always choose? You will always choose a fastest solution, fastest way to reach your home. So the same thing applies to your even in your data structures as well. Even in your data structures also, the same thing applies. So now coming back to the original definition of time complexity, what exactly this is? It is number of the number of operations an algorithm performs. The number of operations an algorithm performs is is called time complexity. Very simple terms. We will also see how we find out time complexity. Also, we will also learn that. We will also practice few examples now. So, but the first simple definition about your time complexity is number of operations an algorithm performs. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear, guys? Yes, it is number of operations. This is very important thing. This is very important thing, right? Let me write down here. Time complexity is measured in terms of number of operations. You might be thinking, what is an operation? You might be thinking that what is an operation in my code? What is the operation? We might be thinking, right, what is an operation in my code? So can let's take a simple small example of a small code snippet. Okay, let's say we have a Let's write this code snippet in Python language. Python language. So this code snippet is a equals to 10, b equals to 20, c is equals to a plus b. C is equals to a plus b. I have very small code snippet, which is a is 10, b is 20, and c is equals to a plus b. C is equals to a plus b. Right. So if you observe here, if you observe here, each line you can call it as an operation. Each line you can call it as an operation. Each line is an operation. A is equals to 10 is an operation, which is operation 1, and second line is also an operation, operation 2. Third line is also an operation, operation 3. In total, how many operations are performed in this particular code snippet? In this very basic code snippet, total we are doing three number of operations. Total we are doing three number of operations. This is what time complexity means. This is what time complexity means. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? So time complexity is nothing but the number of operations performed by number of operations performed by your algorithm. One second. Who is drawing this? Dilip, please off your pen. Okay, fine, cool. So the time complexity is like the number of operations performed by your algorithm, right? So in our small code snippet, we have three lines. So the number of operations performed here are three. The number of operations performed here are three operations, right? It is, I hope this is clear to you people. Now moving on to the next one, moving on to the next simple thing. Okay. Now let's take one example. And before that, you might be thinking, measure, why don't we measure time complexity, time complexity in seconds or minutes or etc. Right? You might be thinking, sir, why are we taking number of operations? It is time complexity. We should be ideally measuring in terms of seconds, minutes, like how much time it will take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You might be thinking in that way, right? Why we don't measure time complexity in terms of seconds or minutes? Basically, the real world time is because the program, our algorithm, okay, the programmer algorithm is running in MacBook, right? MacBook can take 1 second only. Can take 1 second. Why? Because the RAM is high and ROM is also high. Okay. And even CPU speed also high. CPU speed is also high. Okay. So my program can run in MacBook in 1 second. Within 1 second, the program will be running. Right? Why it is running in 1 second? Because the MacBook contains higher RAM, basically 32 GB RAM, and also CPU speed is 2 or 3 gigabytes. 2 or 3 gigabytes. So that is the reason my program will run in 1 second within a single second. Okay. Now, when it comes to another laptop, let's say you are taking a Windows 10 system. It might take around 5 seconds. It might take around 5 seconds. Why? Because RAM can be only 10 GB, 16 GB RAM. RAM can be only 16 GB RAM. And ROM is also very low. ROM is also very low. And CPU speed is medium. CPU speed is medium. So why we don't measure time complexity in terms of seconds or minutes is the program running on a mission where the speed of your machine and also the storage capacity of your machine is completely completely different. So that is the reason always we don't measure on time, basic seconds, minutes, etc. We always measure time complexity in terms of number of operations performed. Number of operations performed. This is the main reason, everyone. Okay, this is the main reason. Now, moving on to the next example, let's take one more example. Let's take one more example. Okay, so let's take a equals to 1. Let's take for in range of for I in range of 5. Okay, for I in range of 5. Now we'll add a print statement A. Let's add a print statement A. Now this takes how many number of operations? This takes how many number of operations? How many number of operations this particular code snippet example one will take? Example one will take. So we have an alphabet. We have a which is variable declared in the line number one. Declared in line number one, which will be one operation. One operation. Okay, one operation has been performed. What is the next thing? We have a for loop. We have a for loop. When we execute this particular code, what will be the output I will get? What will be the output I will get? I will get output as one, 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 one. I will get how many outputs I will get? I am getting five outputs. I am getting five outputs. Five times A will be printed. How many times A is printing? Five times. We are getting A is printed five times. Okay. So the time, basically the number of operations performed here is, for your first line it only took one operation, and now the for loop for I in range of 5, whatever we have, this takes five operations. Five operations. Why it is taking five operations? Because we are running a for loop for five times. We are running a for loop for five times. Every time this will go inside this for loop, it will print A. It will print A. In this way, we have five times one being getting printed, five getting printed. So this is the reason the number of operations here, the number of operations here are total six operations. Total six operations has been performed in the above code snippet. Above code snippet, right? Okay. So, fine. Now let me quickly recap on the things that we have did till now, guys. Okay. So the things that we did till now is very simple. So today we have started with learning the time complexity. Today we have started with learning the time complexity. What is time complexity? What is time complexity? The number of operations, the number of operations an algorithm performs, the number of operation an algorithm performs is called as time complexity, is called as time complexity. Okay. So how, let's see how we did this particular operation, right? So moving on to the example, first example that we have did, time complexity is nothing but number of operations. So in this small code snippet that we have seen, A is equals to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equals to A plus B. Every single line, every single line is an operation. Operation is an operation. Every single line is an operation. So this is operation number one, first operation that has been performed. This is operation number two, and last line is C is equals to A plus B is C is equals to A plus B is operation number three. Operation number three. So in total, how many operations that we are performing in this particular example? In total, how many operations we did? We have performed total total three operations. Total total three operations we have performed. Okay. So, and one more thing, you might be getting a question, sir, why are we measuring time complexity in number of operations? Why are we performing, why are we measuring time complexity in number of operations? Why don't we measure time complexity in seconds or minutes? Why don't we do this one? You might be seeing my screen. So why don't we measure time complexity in terms of seconds or minutes? You might be getting that question, guys. Why we don't do that particular thing is, okay, because program will be running in different missions, right? Let's say student A is having a MacBook. Student A is having a MacBook where RAM is 32 GB. RAM is 32 GB. ROM and CPU is our high level. Like the MacBook, as you people know, MacBook is a high-end laptop. So when you run an algorithm, time will be very less. Time taken to run or execute that particular code is only 1 second. Only 1 second. Why? Because it has high-end high-end features like 32 GB RAM, fast CPU speed, all those things. Right. Now, when you take student two or student B, he has Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system, my Windows 11 operating system. Now, Coming to his configurations, RAM is 16 GB when MacBook has 32 GB RAM, but Windows only has 16 GB RAM. And the CPU is also medium performant, very medium performing CPU. So different machines have different configuration. That is the reason every machine will give different time, like different seconds or different minutes. And that is the reason we don't measure time complexity in terms of seconds or minutes. That is the reason, guys. So this is the reason we don't do this operation in terms of seconds or minutes, and we always measure time complexity in terms of number of operations number of operations performed. I hope this is clear. If you have any things to discuss or ask, feel free to unmute or feel free to put in the chat box. I'll wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, assuming everything is clear, moving on to the next one. Now we have taken one more example. Let me do this again. Let me do this example again, guys. Okay, let's example one, which is, okay, a is equals to 1, a equals to 1 for I is equals to, not a is 1, let's take it as a equals to 10, for I is equals to 0, I less than a, I plus plus, print I, print I. What is the output of this code snippet? Can someone type in the answer in your chat box? What is the output of this line, these two lines? What is the output? What is the output here? Can someone type in the chat box? Output of this line, a is equals to 10, for I is equals to 0, I less than a, I plus plus. I am printing I. What is the output of the above example? What is the output, guys? I want answer from everyone. Output, Nikhil, Dilip, Apurva, Nag. Type in your answers in the chat box. What is the output of this example? If you type in the answer, we will see the next thing. Very simple thing. This is a very simple thing, guys. What is output? Output is, it will start from 0, which means 0 will be printed, 1 will be printed, 2 will be printed, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly, correct, Nikhil. So all these numbers will be printed. How many numbers are there in the output? How many numbers are there in the output? Can you put it in the chat? What is the count? What is the count of output? What is the count of output? Can someone put it in the chat? Count of output is 10 numbers. We got 10 numbers are printed. 10 numbers are printed. Now let's find out what we will find out. Let's find number of operations performed in above example. Simple terms, time complexity. We need to identify the number of operations, which is time complexity. Now let's see that one. So for first line, how many number of operations we are performing in the line one? How many operations we performing? We are only performing one operation. What is that operation? We are assigning a value to the variable. A is equals to 10. It is an operation. It is a operation. After that, what we have? We have a for loop. What is the thing that we have? We have a for loop. How many times this for loop will run? How many times this for loop will run? Everyone, how many times the for loop will run? How many times for how many times? For loop runs for one time. Why one time or 10 times? Very good. Exactly right. For loop runs for how many times, Nikhil? It will run for 10 times. Exactly. 10 times. Okay. 10. Okay. How many statements I have in my for loop? How many lines of code I have in my for loop? How many statements I have inside my for loop? Inside my for loop, how many statements I have? I have one statement which is a print statement. One statement which is a print statement. So number of times my for loop runs into number of statements in my for loop. Number of statements in the for loop. Okay, number of statements in the for loop, which is 1, which is 1. So now if you take this, the number of operations are 10 into 1. Number of operations are 10 into 1, which is equals to, which is equals to 10. So my first line took one operation, one operation. My next thing is a for loop. For loop is running for how many times? 10 times. How many times? 10 times. And next, number of statements are there in the for loop? I only have one statement, right? So what it will do, how it will execute, how it will execute, it will start. What is the initial value of I? Initial value of I is, initial value of I is 0, 0. It will come inside the for loop. It will come inside the for loop. It will execute this statement. It will execute the statement. What is the output of the statement? Print of I. Value of I is 0. Value of I is 0. Now what happens? 0 will be printed. 0 will be printed. Okay, 0 is completed. Now what will we do? It will go back to the, it will go back to the increment section, which is I plus plus, I plus plus. What will I value become? What will I value become? I value will become from 0 to 1, 0 to 1. It will go to the next thing, condition section, condition section. I less than A. What is the value of I? What is the value of I? 1. What is the value of A? What is the value of A? Can someone type in the chat box? What is the value of A? Nikhil or anyone? What is the value of A, guys? What is the value of A? We have Dilip, Apurva, Nag. The value of A is, the value of A is 10. Value of A is 10. 1 less than 10. Is this true? 1 less than 10. Is this true? Yes or not? Yes. So I will go inside my for loop again. I will go inside my for loop again. So now I will go again for the second time. I will go again for the second time. What I will do again? I have only one statement, which is print of I. So now I will be printing 1. Now I will be printing 1. In this way, how many times we do this operation repeatedly? We do this operation for 10 times. We do this operation for 10 times. Every time, what are we doing? We are executing this line called print. We are executing a line called, we are executing a line called print line. How many lines we have? How many lines we have? We have only one line. How many times we are doing? How many times we are doing? 10 times. So total, how many operations we are performing? 10 operations. This for loop is performing. This for loop is performing. How many operations? 10 operations. 10 operations. In total, in total, in total, how many operations I performed in total? First line took one operation. Second line, my for loop took 10 operations. What is total, guys? Total is 11. Total is 11 operations. 11 operations. Total 11 operations is performed, which is 11 is the time complexity of your code snippet, of your code snippet. I hope this particular process is clear to everyone. If you have any question or anything you wanted to ask, feel free to ask me, because if you understand this one, then only we will understand time complexity. If you understand this one, then only we can understand time complexity. So if this process is very clear to everyone, we're completely fine, everything is good. If it is not clear, feel free to unmute or put in the chat box your questions. I will wait for a couple of seconds. Then we will move on to the next example. Then we will move on to the next example. Okay. Assuming everything is clear. So above, total operations is 1 plus 10, which is 11. 1 plus 10, which is 11. Okay. Okay. Now in this code snippet, if I give you the same code snippet, okay. Sorry. Let me copy this again. Control C, Control V. Let me not do this. I will not do this also. Now, if I update 10 to 20, what is the total operations here? What is the total operations in the above code? Total operations. I want everyone to answer. Take your time, do that slowly, and tell me total operations performed above. What is the output? What is the total number of operations? Total number of operations in the above code snippet. I want answers, guys. If you give me response, then only I can understand. You are understanding. You are basically getting the points that we are discussing. If it is not clear, then there is no point. Then there is no point of this much time. I will repeat again if it is not clear. But take this code snippet, take this code snippet, and tell me total number of operations. I want everyone's response, guys. Whoever are there, I want response from everyone. Mr. Nag gave me the response. Mr. Nag telling 21. Okay. What about Apurva Nikhil 21? Okay. What about others? What about others? Everyone should answer, guys, because if it is not clear, we need to discuss. You need to bring in your points, or else we will never understand. This will be very difficult going further. Always we need to understand. Apurva, Nikhil, Mr. Nag gave. What about others? Dilip also gave the answer 21. Chidambara Shetty 21. Very good. Asif, Asif, what is the answer? How many total operations are performed here? How many operations? 21. Okay, great. Great, guys. Right? Okay. 21 is the exactly correct answer. 21 is the exactly right answer. Now, I will take one more example. I will take one more example. You guys tell me how much, what is the operations. So, if A is equals to 10, if A is equals to 10 in our above example, if I take A value as 10, A value as 10, give me answer fast, guys. What is total operations? What is total operations performed? What is total operations performed? Total number of operations is total number of operations is 11. Total number of operations is 11. Very good. If I take A equals to 100, A equals to 100, what is total? What is total? What is total, guys? 101. What is total? 101. How are we getting 101? Can anyone say me how are we getting 101, 101 here? How are we getting 101? How are we getting 101? By adding what and like how are we getting 101? So one operation is for line number one, A is equals to initializing the value. Second value is 100. Second value is 100. 100 is what? What is 100? The number of times your for loop is running. Number of times your for loop is running. If you observe closely here, if you observe closely here, 100 is equals to the input value or not? 100 is equals to input value or not? Yes or no, guys? Everyone observe here. Whatever I got 100, is it equals to my input value A? Is it equals to input value A? Even in the above also, what is how I'll get 1 plus 10, 1 plus 10, which is 10 is nothing but number of times my for loop is running. Number of time my for loop is running. It is equals to the input value A, because we are iterating A number of times. We are iterating A number of times. This is the reason what I can write this time complexity is, generalize this time complexity is 1 plus A. 1 plus A is the time complexity, time complexity of my 1 plus A is the time complexity, generic time complexity of my above code snippet, time complexity of my time complexity of my above code snippet. 1 plus A. 1 plus A. We are not even going to the next steps, guys. Basically, we will be having three different notations: big O notation, okay, alpha notation, and all those things. I'm not even going there. Don't even worry. We will see it later. But first thing, we need to understand what is time complexity, how to measure, right? So, in the above example, if I take 10, I am getting 11 operations. If I take 100, I am getting 101 operations. How? One operation is performed for the line number one, which is A is equals to 20, 30, 40. Remaining is number of times my for loop is running. Number of times my for loop is running. So which is equivalent to A, which is equivalent to A. Okay, I hope this is clear. If this is clear, please type in yes. If this is not clear, please type in no. We will discuss again if you need. Type in yes or no, guys, in the chat box. Faster, guys, faster. I need response. Asif, Chidambara Shetty, Nikhil, Dilip, Apurva, Mr. Nag. Type in the answers, guys. Yes or no. If it is not clear, we will see this again. But I want your answers because this is very important. Very simple topic, but important topic for us to understand going further. Okay, great. Now, now, so if you observe one thing here, if you observe one thing here, if A is A, what is A? Input value. Input value. If A is increasing, if A is increasing, my time complexity, increasing or decreasing, guys? My time complexity. If A, if the value of A is increased, my time complexity will be increased or decreased? Increased or decreased? Increased. Increased or decreased? Time complexity is time complexity is increased. Time complexity is increased. So what does this line means is what does this line mean is it is not just about A. It is not about A. If your input values, if your input values is increasing, time complexity, time complexity will also be increased. Time complexity will also be increased. More becomes more. Okay. Now let's do one more example, one more small example. I will ask you, I'll give you few code snippets to everyone. I want answers from you. I want from answers from everyone. So now, code snippet code snippet one, very simple one. Okay, print of 10, print of 20, print of 1 and print of 20. What is the time complexity? TC is time complexity. Let's assume TC as time complexity. What is the time complexity here? Everyone answer. What is the time complexity of this code snippet one? Very simple thing. Fast. I want response faster, guys. Nag, Asif, Apurva, everyone. Mr. Nag says 2. Is it correct, everyone? 2 or something else? Answer. Everyone answer. Dilip, Nikhil, Chidambara Shetty, Akash. Is it 2 or something else? Time complexity. What is time complexity? Number of operations. How many number of operations that we are doing? How many number of operations we are doing above? We have only two lines. We are simply printing two values, 10 and 20. So the number of operations is 2. Time complexity is 2. Now let's go to the code snippet 2. Code snippet 2. Okay, code snippet 2. Now I will have for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, I plus plus, print of I, print of I plus 1, I plus 1, I plus 1. Do this carefully, everyone. Do this carefully. Okay. I want time complexity of this entire, this proper code snippet. Okay. Okay. To make this easier, if n is equals to 20, what is the time complexity? What is the time complexity? If n is equals to 20, 100, what is the time complexity? I want answer for this thing, guys. I have a for loop which does this part. Now n is 20. What is time complexity? If n is 100, what is time complexity? Everyone, answer. I need response, guys. Take your time. Take your time. Take 20 to 30 seconds of time. Take your 20 to 30 seconds of time. But I want a response, proper response from you. You need to do this and tell me. If n is equals to 20, time complexity is Mr. Nag is saying 41. Mr. Nag is saying 41. Okay. What about others? What about others? I want response. And at least three or four members should answer this. Do this and tell me. See the code snippet again carefully. Carefully. Be careful with the code snippet. I have only this. This is my code snippet. This is my code snippet, guys. See that. Observe the code snippet carefully. Okay. Observe the code snippet carefully and tell the answer. This is only this for loop is my code snippet, nothing else. Okay. Akash is saying that for I think for 20 he is saying 21. For 100 he is saying that 101. Okay. Okay. What about others? What about others? Akash is saying this one. Okay. Akash is saying okay. I gave you above example for you to understand the number of operations. We have two operations. So use this code snippet one or think about code snippet one and also try to answer for code snippet two. Nikhil is saying 41. Okay, along with Mr. Nag, Nikhil is also saying 41. Very good. What about others? Apurva, Chidambara Shetty, are you doing or are you not doing? We need to do. We need to do, guys. We need to do, or else it will not. It will be very difficult. Along with me, you need to. put pen and paper, you need to take your notepad and all you need to do, and you need to answer the question. Okay, fine. Now let's see the answers. All your answers are here. We are not going to remove those answers. Now, what is my code snippet, guys? What is my code snippet? Do I have any lines above? Do I have any lines above? Do I have any lines above? No, nothing. I don't have anything above. I only have a for loop. I only have a for loop. How to find out a time complexity for a for loop? How to find out a time complexity for a for loop? Number of times for loop runs. How many times my for loop will run if value of n is 20? If value of n is 20, how many times my for loop will run? How many times will for loop will run? In the chat box, answer in the chat box, everyone. How many times my for loop will run if value of n is 20? Exactly, exactly, Akash. How many times it will run? It will run for how many times? 20 times. Very good. What is the next parameter? Into number of lines. How many lines I have in my for loop? How many lines I have in my for loop? What are those two lines? How many lines I have how many lines? Nikhil, Akash, Chidambara, Shetty, put in the chat answer should be in the chat box. How many number of lines I have in my for loop? I have two lines. I have two lines. So number of times my for loop run is 20. When my value of n is 20, it runs only for 20 times. I have how many lines in my for loop? How many lines in my for loop? Two lines. So now if value of n is 20, what is the time complexity? Is it 41 or 40? 41 or 40, guys? Answer is 40. Answer is 40. This is the correct answer. You might be thinking, sir, why not 41? Because I said assume n as 20. I never said this is a line which is inside my code snippet. I did not did that, right? This is not there. I only have this one. I only have a for loop. That is the reason the time complexity for this particular n is equals to 20 is 40. Very simple formula. Number of times my for loop runs into number of lines. Very simple thing. I hope this is clear to everyone. Akash, Mr. Nag, everyone, Nikhil. I hope this is clear to everyone. If yes, type in Y or yes, right? Okay. Now you have to tell me. Now I will remove this one. N equals to 100, N equals to 200, and N equals to 300, N equals to 1000. Now what will be the answers in all the cases? Faster, guys. I need answers, responses very quickly, like rockets in my chat box. What is the answer here? What is the time complexity here? What is the time complexity here? What is the time complexity here? All the cases. I need time complexity. I only got one response in the chat box. I only got one response in the chat box. I want response everyone. Fast, fast. For this, what is answer? It is it is 200. For 200, if n is 200, the answer is 400. If n is 300, answer is 600. If n is 1000, what is the answer? 2000. Every time, what is happening here? If you observe what we are doing, guys, if n is equals to 1, we are multiplying n with 2. N with 2. So n value is 200. 200 into 2, how much? 400. If n is 300, what we are doing? We are doing 600. If n is 1000, we are doing it as 2000. Now, if n is equals to n, what will be the time complexity? What will be the time complexity? N into 2, n into 2, n into 2. So this is the general time complexity. This is how we need to derive the general time complexity of a small code snippet, given code snippet. I hope this is clear to everyone. I will repeat this one more time. This is my code snippet. This is my code snippet. My for loop runs for 20 times. Inside my for loop, I have two statements, right? In now, if I take n is 20, my for loop will run for 40. My time complexity will be 40. How I will get time complexity? 20 into 2. 20 into 2. What is 2 here? Number of statements. What is 20? Number of time for loop runs. If my n is 100, time complexity, number of operations is 200. If it is 200, time complexity is 400. If my n value is 300, time complexity is 400. If my n value is 1000, time complexity is 2000. Time complexity is 2000. If the n is n, my time complexity will become n into n into 2. N into 2. What is n here? Number of time loop runs. Number of time loop runs. Or in simple terms, input value also you can call. You can also call that as input value. Input value. Okay. This is the thing, guys. This is the thing. Right? This is the thing that we need to understand. N into 2. Is this particular process clear, guys? Is this particular process clear? Generic general time complexity of code snippet. Code snippet. This is how we need to identify the generic time complexity of a given code snippet. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Apurva, Nikhil, Chidambara Shetty, everyone, type in the chat box yes or no. If it is not clear, or if you want to repeat me, or if you have any questions around this one, feel free to ask me. Or else, if this is very clear to everyone, I will give you 3 or 4 code snippets right away. You need to tell me the proper complexity, also the general time complexity. General time complexity. Sunny, Nikhil, Mohammed Asif, Dilip, Akash, Chidambara Shetty, Apurva, everyone, type in the chat box. Yes, is this clear or not? I will give you examples, guys. Now we need to solve those examples and understand. If this is clear, I will move to the next one. Yes, no, type in the chat box fast. Everyone response. Apurva, Akash, Chidambara Shetty, Mr. Nag, Sunny. Clear? Okay, great. Now let me quickly give you 2 or 3 examples. 2 or 3 example. Code CS3. Now for int, not int, I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now inside my for loop, I have another for loop. This is the thing, guys. This is the thing that you need to solve. Now I'll not give n is equals to 3. Print of I. This is your code snippet 1. Okay, I want time complexity. If n is equals to 10, what is time complexity? If n is equals to 100, what is time complexity? Okay, I want this answer. For the first question, I want this answer faster. Everyone do this and tell me. Everyone do this and tell me. Fast. We need to do this, guys. What is the time complexity? If n is equals to 10, what is the time complexity? What is time complexity? Number of operations. So this is my code snippet. This is my code snippet. What will be the time complexity? You need to answer. Akash says 14. Okay. Let us see. Akash says for n is equals to 10, he might be saying 14 is answer. Okay, Akash, do this again. Try to do this again. Do this again carefully. Do that again carefully, Akash. Mr. Nag says 30. Okay, Mr. Nag says 30. Okay, Chidambara Shetty says very nice. He says answers for 30 and 300. Okay, okay. Sunny says 90. 90 for which one? First one example or second example, Sunny? Assuming I am 90 is the answer. Okay, first one. Okay, great. Muhammad Asif also says 30, and Asif also says 30, and Chidambara also says 30. Chidambara also says 30. Very good. What about second one, guys? I only got one response, two responses. One is Chidambara said, one is Asif said. What about remaining Akash, Sunny? Do the answers. Do the answers. Asif, everyone. Sunny says 90 is answer for first one. Let's see. Sunny says 90 is the answer for first one. Let's see the answers, guys. Who else are pending? Apurva, Apurva. Remaining people, do this, do this second one. Mr. Nag, you are yet to do for second one. Try to do that for second one. Try to do that for second one. Take 1 more minute of time and do this for second one. Once you are done, once you people are done, we will see the above example. Yes, we will see the above example. Sunny is saying 300 for one. 300 is the answer for next one. Okay. Sunny, for second one you got 300. What about first one? Check that one, first one again. Check that first one again. Okay, great. I hope we have received most of the answers. Very good. Very good. Akash has changed his answer, or Akash still says, okay, 14 only. Akash, what about second one answer? You have to find out the answer for second one. You are yet to do. Try to do that. In the meanwhile, try to listen here, everyone. Try to listen here. Okay. Now let me take this down. 1 second. We got one more answer. It seems to be. Uh, Sunny says 30. Okay. So you are going back from 90 to 30. Okay. Fine. Fine, Sunny. I think you realized what your mistake here. Okay. Great. Now, very simple thing. Very simple thing, guys. Very, 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 very simple thing. How I need to find out a for loop? For for loop, what is the formula, or how I need to find out the time complexity? Number of times for loop runs into number of statements. Yes or no? Number of statements. Yes or no? Is this correct? Is this correct formula that we did till now? Is this correct, guys? Yes or no? I need answers from everyone. Yes, no. Type in the chat box. Yes or no? Yes, right? This is the formula, or this is the way that we are doing till now. Exactly. Now, what is, we have how many for loops? How many for loops I have? How many for loops I have? Two for loops. I have one for loop inside another for loop. One for loop inside another for loop, which is called as nested for loops. You already know this term. I think I'm assuming you might already know this term. If you don't know this term, nested for loop means for loop inside another for loop. For loop inside another for loop is called nested for loops. Nested for loops. We will see this. Okay. Okay. Now coming back to our formula. For first for loop, how many times this for loop will run? How many times this for loop will run? If my value of n is 10, how many times this outer for loop, I for loop will run how many times, guys? It will run for 10 times. Okay. 10 into number of statements inside. How many statements I have? You might be thinking, sir, I have 3 lines in my for loop. But here we are not having a single line statements like print a equals to c, b equal to d plus 2. Those statements are not there. What we have inside a for loop is another for loop. What we have inside a for loop is another for loop. When we have another for loop, what I need to do? Apply the same formula again. Apply the same formula again. Whatever the formula that we had, whatever the formula that we had, number of times for loop runs into number of statements. How many times this for loop will run, guys? How many times this J for loop will run? Answers, everyone. How many times J for loop will run? Akash, Sunny, everyone, answer. How many times J for loop will run? J for loop will run for how many times? 10 times or 20 times? 10 times or 20 times? J for loop. Sunny, Akash, Chidambara Shetty. Answer, guys. I need response from everyone. How many times my J for loop will run? 3 times or 10 times? Mr. Nag, Asif, Chidambara Shetty. How many times inner for loop will run? J for loop will run. You can call this as a J for loop or a inner for loop. Yes, exactly. Both, all people are correct. Number of times my inner for loop will run says this is running for 3 times. 3 times. How many statements I have inside this for loop? How many statements I have? I have only one statement, which is 3 into 1 equals to 3. 3 into 1 equals to 3. Very good. Exactly. So now my for loop, entire for loop, number of operations it performs is 3. Number of operations it performs is 3. Coming back to our main for loop, 10 is number of times for loop runs. Second thing is number of statements. How many statements I have inside my for loop now? 3 statements. 3 statements. So now 10 into 3 is equals to 30. 10 into 3 is equals to 30. This is how we find out the answer. This is how we find out the answer. Akash, now did you got the clarity? Akash, did you got the clarity now? You said initially 14. I think you have counted the inside for loop as a different one, right? This you might have counted in a different way. That's all, nothing much. Did you got the clarity, Akash, now? Did you got the clarity, Akash? Can you ping in the chat? Did you got the clarity or not? Yes or no, Akash? Are you listening? Okay. Okay, fine. Now, this is how we got the answer 10 into 3 is equals to 30. 10 into 3 equals to 30. I am simplifying this again, guys. Number of times my for loop run is 10 times. How many statements inside my for loop? I don't know because that is a for loop again. There is a for loop again. There is a for loop again. So that's why this for loop, I need to find out how many times this for loop will run. How many times this for loop will run, I need to find out. It is running for 3 times. So I will simply multiply this with 10, which gives me 30. Okay, very good. In this way, you also figured out for 100. Very good. Now, if n is equals to 1000, what is the time complexity, guys? Everyone type in answer fast. Type in the answer fast. If n equals to 1000, what is the time complexity? Number of operations, how many operations will be performed? If n is equals to 1000, everyone, faster guys. Asif, Chidambara Shetty, Akash, everyone, answer here. Sunny, I want response from everyone, guys. Everyone should say. Answer is 3000, 3000. Very good, very good. Now, give me the general time complexity for this above. General time complexity. General time complexity, guys. General time complexity means if n is equals to n, what is the time complexity? What is the time complexity? What is the time complexity? Everyone, if you can answer this one, we understood how to find out time complexity for a given program. Any program you take, you can find out the time complexity. This is the basic way we need to do. We got the answer. If you know this answer, if you can find out this general time complexity for this code snippet, that's all. We are done. That's all, we are done. Okay, Sunny is saying n into 10. Sunny is saying n into 10. Okay, let's write down the answer. Let's see whether it is correct or wrong at the end. This is said by Sunny. Okay, what about others? What about others? This is the answer given by Sunny. What about others, guys? What about others? What about others? Asif, Chidambara Shetty, Akash, Apurva, Mr. Nag. Give answer, guys. No need to worry whether it is correct or wrong because I also do mistakes. It's about learning from the mistakes, guys. So please don't worry about whether the answer is correct or wrong. What other peoples will be thinking, what Sar will be thinking. Don't even think about it. Okay, Sunny has corrected his answer. Not sure why, but let's just write down that here. Okay, Akash is also saying n into 3. Akash, did you understand the code snippet that the above code snippet? Did you realize it from your mistake, Akash? Yes or no, Akash? You said 14. You understood? Yes, great. Okay, everyone is saying n into 3 only. Akash also said the same thing. And Mr. Nag is also saying the same thing. What about Chidambara Setti? Are you yet figuring out or did you got confused? Did you got confused or did you figure out Chidambara Setti and everyone, remaining people? Okay, so the answer is absolutely correct, guys. Answer is absolutely correct. N into 3. N into 3, which you can call it as 3n. 3n. In simple terms, 3n. This is absolutely correct answer. You figured out in the right way. You figured out this in the right way. If I want to take it back to the above example, if you take, let me remove this answer, which is corrected by Akash. If you take 10, answer is 30, which is n into 3. N into 3. If you take 100, answer is 300, which is again n into 3. N is 100, 100 into 3 is 300. We got the answer as 300. If I take n is equals to 1000, I did again same thing. N into 3, I got 3000. I got 3000. So like this, we figured out time complexity is n into 3, which is 3n, which is 3n, which is 3n. So now one more simplest thing I will say. We will discuss this again tomorrow, whatever I'm saying here. Okay, this 3n will be converted into big O of n, big O of n. You might be thinking, sir, what is this big O? Where did this 3 went into? You might be thinking all those things. Don't worry about this. Just I'm giving you a glimpse of what we will be discussing on Monday. So we will be discussing about the actual, like how the big O notations are there, different notations available for measuring the time complexity, different notations available for measuring the time complexity for a given program. All those things we will be seeing. Don't worry about this. I will also remove that one. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. I think Akash is asking something for one loop n into 2, for nested n into 3. Is it, sir? Yes, Akash. If you take here, it is 3n. If you take here, it is 3n. If you go back to the above example, it is n into 2, which is equals to 2n. It is absolutely correct, Akash. It doesn't matter whether it is a nested loop or not. It doesn't matter whether it is a nested loop or not, because even though it is a nested loop, if you observe, even though if it is a nested loop, it is a constant value. This will run always. Will this always run for 3 times or not? No matter what is the value of n. The inner loop will always run for how many times, guys? How many times? Mr. Nag, Chidambara Shetty, Sunny, answer this question. My n value can be 1 lakh. Will this number of runs will change? How many times my j loop will run? My J loop will only run for 3 times. No matter what my outer loop is, I only have 3 times, right? So that is the reason it is 3 into n. 3 into n. This for loop will always run for a constant time. Constant time, not time, but constant iterations. Constant iterations, guys. So that is the reason this is 3n. I hope this particular thing is clear about the time complexity. So before we move on to the next one, can everyone type in what is time complexity in the chat box? What is time complexity in the chat box, guys? What is time complexity? What is time complexity? What does time complexity mean? Can someone type it? Can everyone type in the answer in the chat box? Everyone. Akash, everyone. I want everyone. Exactly, Akash. You are exactly correct. It is absolutely right. For time complexity of big O, a constant is big O of one, which we will be seeing tomorrow. Which we will be seeing tomorrow. Basically, on Monday's class, we will be seeing that how it is big O of one is constant, why it is being called as constant. So there are many things. We need to understand everything line by line. Right? Mr. Nag is saying specify the topic names you are going to say in data structures. Okay, Mr. Nag, just to give you a brief clarity. Okay, so we will be having a core DS. Basically the foundation. Everyone stay with me for 2 more minutes. We will just see what all syllabus we will be covering. Foundation. And the next thing that we will be having is core DSA. I'm giving a brief, Mr. Nath. Okay, core DSA. Next thing is advanced DSA. Advanced DSA. Next thing is interview ready. Interview ready. The most important thing is this one. Anyways, so coming to the foundation, we will be learning here. We will be learning here time complexity, space complexity, how basically how we need to think to solve a question, thinking to solve a question. All those things we will be seeing as part of the basic foundation. Everyone. Okay, basic foundation. Okay. Okay. Sunny, you are asking, you did not get big O of n. What does that, I mean, you did not understood that
Yeah,
part.
actually, I'm joined today first time, so I didn't understand that time. And
That is
a
completely
second,
fine. But that is completely fine, Sunny. But you understand till here, na? General
yes,
time
yes, yes,
complexity.
yes,
This
yes.
that's all. The remaining thing, whatever I said, big O of n now. This we will see tomorrow. I just give you a glimpse what we will be learning on Monday. That's all. No need to worry about this one. We will see in detail about this one. We are yet to learn this. Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
are we planning to take this all those in with the Java only, or how it will be?
Both Java and Python, both the languages. And anyways, at the end of the day, uh, programming language doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, programming language doesn't matter. Why I'm saying this is, you might be thinking, sir, how I will write code? But before writing code, we need to do many things. We need to understand the question. We need to find the brute force solution. We need to optimize the solution. We need to do dry run. There are many steps we need to do. Akash or Sunny, everyone, right? So programming language doesn't matter. Anyways, we will be seeing this in Python and Java. Anybody wants this in C++ also? C++ also. Anybody wants this in C++ also? Or only Python, Java is fine. Only Python, Java are enough. Only in Python. Okay, that's completely fine. Only the code snippets. I will not. We will be seeing most of the things. If you are only needing Python, that is also completely fine. We will go with Python only. But I will, if there are any people who don't know Python, we will learn Python slowly, but I will give you every example, every code snippet in Java also. No need to worry, Sunny and Chidambara. Don't worry. Both, it's just a programming languages, guys. Don't worry about, don't fight for this one. This is a very basic thing that we have in our syllabus. We don't worry about coding language, programming language. We only worry about the logic, how we build the logic. That is the major thing. Okay. So don't worry, we will be seeing in both. which will not take much time. It is just a syntax. Do we have any difference apart from syntaxes? Major difference for which are required for us apart from syntax? Do we have anything else? Nothing, right? So coming back to this one, core DSA, we will be covering all linear data structures, all linear data structures. When I say linear data structures, arrays, stack, queue, linked list, hash set, hash set. All the linear data structures will be covered. You might be thinking, sir, what are those, all these things? These are nothing but just the way we store data, the way we store our data in variable, basically in your memory. That's all, nothing else we have with respect to these things. So all these things we will be seeing. We will be learning how to arrays. You might already know how to create an array, how to print an array, all those things you might know, but we will still see those things again. And we will build all these things without using default things, without using any predefined things. We will build all those things. Why are we build? You might be asking, sir, why we need to build? Already there is a stack in Java, which is already created by Java people, Oracle people. Why we need to do this again? We need to do that step because if we do that, we will understand the internal working of all these four things. If you understand the internal working, you can optimize the usage of all these things. That is the primary reason we will be seeing how to implement these things. And next we will be solving questions in HackerRank, HackerRank and LeetCode. HackerRank and LeetCode platforms. We will be solving questions, guys. We will be solving many questions in HackerRank and LeetCode on all these topics. Okay, this is the core data structures that we have. Once we are done with the core data structures, we need to moving into non-linear data structure, non-linear data structure, and also advanced DS. Advanced DS. What it will cover? What it will cover? Trees. Trees is the first thing. Next thing is graphs, which is very, very, very important. These two things, if you know these two things, you can crack any company more than 15 lakhs. More than 15 lakhs package, any company, this is the things we mainly ask. Okay, trees, graphs, dynamic programming, dynamic programming. And next thing is tries. Tries also there. You might be, sir, what is trees and what is tries? This is very important concept, very, very, very easiest thing, but also difficult to understand for a first time. But we will make it easy for you people. Okay. So trees, graphs, dynamic programming, tries. Next thing we also have a greedy techniques. All those things, guys. All these things we will be covering. All these things. We also have many more things. Okay, I am just giving you an overview. This is not the actual line-to-line service. I can share. We will be sharing all the people. We will be sharing in the WhatsApp the actual PDF of the course curriculum. Everything in that curriculum will be covered. So just to give you a brief idea, these things will be covered in the first three layers: foundation, core data structures, and advanced data structures. Now coming to the interview ready, you might be thinking, sir, already I learned all those three things. What is interview ready? What I will learn there? This is where the major things comes, guys. This is where the major things. Whatever we did in the first three, we learned those things. Now we solve lead code and hacker rank questions. First thing, we will solve many lead code and hacker rank questions. We will also perform mock interview sessions, and also mock coding sessions. Okay, all these things will also be there. And also we will learn, most important thing is company specific questions. Company specific questions. Next thing is previous year companies questions. Companies questions. These two things, whatever these two things are there, these two things should come first. These two things should come first. The first thing is the company specific questions, and the next thing is previous year papers, previous year company specific questions. And not just you might be thinking, sir, company specific questions, nothing but which company you will take. Topmost MNCs. We will take those questions. We will understand the patterns, and we will solve those things. We will solve those things. Everything we will do. Okay. Is that clear to everyone, guys? All these things will be covered in interview ready sub level. Okay. Everything this will be provided. Beyond this, also we have many things, guys. So I hope this particular course curriculum or the structures is clear to everyone, right? Mr. Nag, I hope you have asked this question. I hope this is clear to you, right? Okay, great. So these things will be covered. Now, any questions anybody have? Any questions anybody have regarding the syllabus or regarding anything else? How we will be covering the sessions, timings, duration, anything if you want to ask, guys.
So just to give you a brief idea, duration of this course is 2.5 to 3 months, guys. 3 months. Okay. And timings is 1 hour to 1 hour. Basically 1 hour. Let's not push it beyond 1 hour. And we will be having from Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. These are the duration and timings of this one. Okay. And exact timing is 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So this is the thing. So from Monday onwards, we will be starting, we will be continuing on the sessions. Okay, one Monday we will be continuing on the sessions, guys. So our team will be calling you regarding the registration part. Okay, fee payment, and also recording sessions, everything, content, everything. Regarding all these three things, our team will be calling, Wipro Skills team will be calling you people, all you people. So answer the call and also register yourself for this yourself for the course. And once that is done, from Monday onwards we will continue the sessions. I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. If you have no questions, feel free to drop off, guys. Akash, your explanation is just wow, sir. The way you are teaching, that doesn't need revision. Okay, great, Akash. Thank you. Okay. Anybody has any questions? Well, you can stay back and ask your questions. If you have no questions, feel free to drop off, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Let's meet on Monday. See you on Monday, guys.